Let's run her hot, boy. Canik TP9SFX. Tough to beat that. Welcome back to the Spent Brass channel, guys. Pistol Pete and Alphacat here, bringing you the Canik update video. Now, we originally shot this video in the desert yesterday, but for whatever reason the GoPro screwed up and decided not to keep the footage. The good news is that we got to keep all our shooting footage, so we'll be rolling that in throughout the video. But really what we wanted to do is follow up on our initial video on the Canik or Canik TP9SFX. Now you're probably noticing that Alphacat is pulling out a Canik TP9SFX, and that is because he went ahead and purchased one.
Yes, I bought this one almost as soon as I shot Pistol Pete's gun in his hand.
Yeah.
Because it just sold me. Like the first day I shot it, it was a sell for me.
Yeah, it's funny, you actually said that in the video. You were like, I love these, or I'm buying one, or something like that.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the original video, go back and watch it before you watch this, because it'll give you an idea where we started with these. The first time out, we only had the FDE model. We didn't have a red dot on it yet, and we were just slamming away with it. I think we put like 500 rounds through it. It ran really well. Loved it. Since then, I have installed a Vortex Venom 3 MOA red dot sight. Yeah, I like iron sights on a pistol, but I really have been, I really feel spoiled with this red dot. This is a Vortex Venom 3 MOA. It's a really great match for this pistol because it's reasonably priced. And this package, I really don't have much money into this package, and I do really enjoy the way it shoots. It's a lot of fun. This is, I think it's 25 and 30 yards on these two targets, so not bad with a pistol. You know? Pretty cool little sight. In the original video I was talking about going with like either a Trijicon or a Holosun, which are both probably awesome options, but a couple guys pointed me towards this Venom, and one of the things I really like about the Venom was the price. So keeping in line with like kind of the Canik's budget demeanor, thought it would be cool just to keep it budget and, you know, maybe not buy into the red dot full bore and spend 500 on it the first time out or whatever, but spend a couple hundred, 250 on red dot and see if I like it. Now since then, on that first video, we probably put another 1,000 to 1,500 rounds through this FDE gun, so it's getting up close to 2,000 rounds, and it's been really good. And I can tell you that my first time out with a red dot, I wasn't super excited about it. I kind of could tell that it had a lot of potential, but I wasn't totally sold. The second time out, I started to be able to like shred with it a little bit, and by the third time out, I was just like, wow, red dots on pistols are a game changer in my opinion. Not bad. Yeah. We had the opportunity to shoot both guns side to side with iron sights and the red dot, and even have somebody like Alpha Cub, who's a younger guy, you know, he's a young guy, he really hasn't had much experience shooting pistols, but to see him shoot with these pistols and just actually be able to engage targets at 10, 25, and 30 yards as a very like beginner pistol shooter, was just really impressive, I think. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think he's great. He actually is pestering me to put a red dot on this gun.
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced yet that I want to put one on, only because I really like the way it is without the red dot.
The factory worn sights are pretty excellent. You know, I thought twice about putting a red dot on the gun because the sights are so good. You know, I was wailing away with the sights, and what I realized is that I can transition from target to target faster with the red dot.
We'll have to look at my
The other thing I realized about the red dot is that it kind of shows you what you're doing wrong as you're shooting the pistol. And actually, it was Alphacat who said that to me, and I was like, dude, you're exactly right, because you can see what the dot does. And if you're anticipating the trigger brake and you're pulling it down, you see the dot go down as you shoot, and it's actually kind of a good training tool in that way, I would argue. So there's a lot to be said about that, and that's just generally about red dots in general on pistols.
I mean, it doesn't help to put on these.
But it's very cool that for the money that the TP9SFX comes with the ability to mount a red dot on it. So what about reliability? Well, the first time we had this pistol out in the field, my FDE one, we did have a jam, but it was after we dropped a brick on the gun. And what I realized after we made the video was that after we dropped the brick on it, the frame, I don't know if you can see this with a shadow, it's kind of tough, but the frame was deformed enough, the polymer was deformed enough where it was rubbing on the slide. So it was slowing down the slide enough where it was causing it to jam. And just enough where it didn't cause it every time, but we got one from it. When I got home, I took a razor blade and I like trimmed it down, and it was perfect sense. Now, I'll roll in some footage here because we were lucky enough to catch this gun having its second jam and probably getting up towards 2,000 rounds. Probably not quite, but at least 1,750 rounds. We caught a second jam. When I went back and looked at the video, I'm pretty sure that the powder in the round was bad or something, because you can see that it ran the slide back, but it didn't fully eject the round, and there was like burnt powder around. I don't think it was an out of battery discharge. The primer on the round looked fine, so I actually think it was the ammo. And speaking of the ammo, Alphacat was running
Silver Bear 115 grain.
Yep, Silver Bear, that had been sitting out in his Jeep for...
I've had it in that Jeep for about 2 months.
Yeah, and yeah.
That Jeep gets about 150 degrees in the
Yeah,
daytime.
yeah, so the timing here, guys, is right now we're just starting to cool down a little bit out here in the Phoenix area, but it's been a really hot summer. So he had that Silver Bear in his Jeep getting cooked for a while. So we noticed that some of the rounds were kind of piddling out, and some were ejecting normally. So he had some jams. They were failure to feeds, and we suspect there's probably, what, 4 or 5 of them?
At least 4 or 5.
Let's say 4, yeah, like at least 4 or 5, and we suspect, based on when we went back and watched the video, we were able to see that some of them just kind of what I like to call piddled out, and we think that maybe that was due to the ammo sitting in the car. So he had a few jams in his. They were easy to clear. They actually loaded back up and load right up and fire, so it wasn't a big deal, and it was probably, like, I would say ammo related for sure.
And even good Silver Bear is very inconsistent, I've noticed.
100% true. Yeah, so let's just say, let's use 480 as a number, because I think I've paid 5 for mine because it's FDE. And sometimes you get those tungsten ones for under 5, which it's a screaming deal. I mean, you can get one of these for less than a Glock?
Yeah.
Less than a new Glock, is that right? And they have a ton more features. Awesome sights, long slide with a long sight radius, forward and rear cocking serrations, the ability to mount an optic, a way better trigger than a Glock, comparable to a Walther, I'd say. Better grip angle for, I think most people would agree, better grip angle, and factory 20 round mags, which are pretty rad as well. I mean, I love the 20 round mags, and I've loved them even more since I've gotten the gun because it's just more cushion for the pushing.
So you get the two 20 round mags with the extended base plate.
Mm-hmm.
You get the optic mount with multiple base plates for the optic mount.
And you know what though? If you think about it, the mags aren't that expensive. I think I paid like 25 or 30 bucks a piece for these. I have 6 now, because that's how many my pistol case carries. I've got 6 of these, and I get them for like 25 or 30 bucks locally. So I found these in stores locally. Whenever I see one, I usually buy it. They've been dead reliable. They're Mekar mags, and if you think about that, I mean, if you're to go buy like a regular 17 or 18 round mag for any poly pistol, it's going to be at least 20 bucks around, something like that, and then you're going to pay for a plus whatever 2 base plate.
Right.
So they're really pretty reasonable and they're really high quality. I mean,
and then you got the fiber optic front sight too.
Yeah.
Which is really nice during the day.
Super nice, super nice. I mean, hopefully you guys are getting the point. The point that we wanted to make was you really can't go wrong with one of these.
And the holster.
Oh, forget about it. We've both been using these holsters. I keep my gun in mine, like when it's in the safe and stuff like that. And we've both been using them out in the desert. Alphacat has his under his Snuggie right now. Totally functional. Has space for the red dot. Awesome value. Awesome value. So, I mean, do you have anything you want to close up with?
Well, I could say that this replaced a SIG P226 Legion, single action only gun. That's how much I like this one.
And he liked that Legion.
I mean, I love the Legion, and it's a great gun. I think I'm going to just change that to my dedicated suppressor gun. But this one, since it's plastic or polymer, it's so much lighter, and I could go with, the P226, I was carrying 3 15-round mags, but this one I could carry 2 20-round mags, so I'm not really losing that much ammo capacity. And this is, I mean, I'm pretty much going to be open carrying this when I'm out in the desert all the time.
Yeah, that's saying something. I mean, SIG Legion's a pretty highly regarded gun. It's got a great trigger, but it's a little heavy for outside the waistband.
It's just a matter of the weight issue.
Mm-hmm. It's accurate. It's been reliable. So, I mean, wrapping up, guys, this is a glowing review of the Canik TP9SFX. We both think it's a great pistol. We think it's a great value. Personally, there's nothing I would really change about the pistol. I think it's just great out of the box. If you haven't fired one and you're in the market for this kind of thing, I would encourage you guys to borrow one or rent one and test it out. It's a soft shooter. It's reliable. It's accurate. Looks cool. They're a knock-up bargain for the price. So if you can get your hands on one, I encourage you to check it out. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We want to hear what any of you other guys have to say about your Caniks below. And catch you next video.
Sounds good.
Canik TP9SFX. Oop, that was me. I gotta load mags. He really hates bowling.